Okay. Hi, this is Bill Hartzer, and this is the Digital Marketing with Bill Hartzer podcast for Thursday, February 17th, 2022. It's a tongue twister for me, 2022. So I have the pleasure of having Austin Armstrong here from Socialty Pro, right? And who is a TikTok marketing expert. I'm actually, I've been on Twitter, I've been on Facebook for years. I think it was probably 2007 that I started on Twitter. But I am not up to date as I should be on TikTok, because now TikTok is now the #1 website as far as traffic goes. Have surpassed Google and Google properties. So welcome, Austin. Tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got into this and what you do on TikTok.
Yeah, Bill, thank you so much for having me on. It's a pleasure to speak with everybody today. My name's Austin Armstrong. As you had mentioned, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Socialty Pro. We're a full-service digital marketing agency that specializes in TikTok marketing for service-based businesses, as well as search engine optimization. I got started on TikTok about 3 years ago. I was fairly early, all things considered, not the earliest, but I was told about the platform from a couple big name marketers like Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm a big Gary V fan. He was shoving it down our throats saying, you got to get on this thing. You got to get on TikTok. So I got on there for a little bit, floundered a little bit for the first couple of months and sort of told myself, well, why am I on here? I want to use this as a tool to grow my business. So that's what I pivoted into. I had a little bit of a mindset shift. I went all in on promoting the products, services, and education about everything that our agency could do. It helped me very quickly triple my business revenue. We went from 2 people to we're a team of 12 people now, all thanks to TikTok. And the past year and a half, we've rolled out repeatable strategies that I tested and proved for myself for all of our service-based business partners that we work with.
Sounds great. So mentioned, what is kind of what do you think is the fascination, between, and why are we seeing, TikTok actually now have more traffic than Google? Honestly, I spend a couple of times, a day, going through there and looking at videos and so forth, and they have a pretty good algorithm as far as figuring out, what stuff you like and what you don't like. But why is everybody going, to TikTok now and watching these videos?
Such a great question. Firstly, it's because it's engineered to be addicting. Its root. It is just dopamine hit after dopamine hit. And the algorithm is really something special on the platform. There's algorithms for every social media platform, Google, everything has an algorithm, right? But this actively learns from you based on so many different signals. What you watch slightly longer than what you're swiping away from, what you're engaging with on a regular basis. And it begins, the more that you watch and the more that you teach that algorithm, the more content that it serves you based on what it thinks that you're going to like. I think it was also the perfect storm with the pandemic. To be frank with you, everybody was at home and still many people are at home for the past 2 years now. This platform was really in its infancy, but starting to build up momentum at that time. People were at home bored with all this extra time. They adopted the new kid on the block, which is TikTok. And due to the addictive nature of the platform in and of itself, with this massive influx of people, it was just this perfect storm to build its momentum to where it is today, the most popular website in the world, surpassing Google, which is absolutely wild.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so there's all sorts of stuff. I'm starting to see some kind of, some service businesses, roofers on there, people who are talking, different things, inspectors, real estate, so let's say if I have a small business, I'm a home inspector or a roofer, maybe an addiction center, drug rehab, what kind of, where do I start? Where do we just basically, get our phones out and start an account and, just start talking about stuff, or, what's kind of the strategy? How do we get started?
Well, Bill, to be frank, if you want to be successful on TikTok, you have to dance. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
Okay.
just kidding. Go about it from an educational perspective. What
Yep.
are the frequently asked questions that you get from your customers? Educate your audience on a consistent basis. That is how you're going to actually grow your account. And that's how you're going to actually transition viewers into leads and sales for your business. So you can mark down those frequently asked questions that you get. You can leverage tools like SEO tools like ahrefs.com, semrush.com. There's great ones like Answer Socrates, Answer the Public. These are all great websites that show you what people are searching for in your industry. So you can type in roofing as that example, right? And then you can see all of the questions that people are asking about roofing. Well, start to create videos around all of those questions. When do you need a new roof? What are the signs that your roof is failing? How to prepare your roof before a snowstorm? How to prime your roof to get solar panels installed, right? These are just top of mind things that I can think about. These are all things that your potential customers are searching for and are interested in. If you're a local based business, have that same approach. I talk with a lot of real estate agents, mortgage brokers, et cetera, right? Do house tours. This is what $500,000 will get you in Houston, Texas, and take them on a tour. Help them with what they need to know if they're a first-time home buyer, right? How to increase the odds that your offer is going to be accepted, how to reduce closing cost fees, anything along the lines of that. The most important thing that you want to focus on as a business owner is providing value to who you want to reach. So don't make it about you. You don't want to make every video an infomercial about your service and about your business, right? This is not late night commercials rolling endlessly in between, whatever shows on. No, this is building rapport with your audience. You want to educate people.
Yeah. So actually, what's interesting is we think these are short videos and they're kind of viral videos, but there's actually a good association, or really good association, between really just keywords and doing keyword research and FAQ questions and so forth. Those, even though we go to SEMrush or Ahrefs, they kind of say, okay, well, all these, for this particular question, something related to, how to get my roof ready for, or why is my roof, how to fix my leaking roof or something like that. So those questions in particular are, whether they're popular not only just on, let's say Google, but, just popular in general. We don't necessarily, and they apply to a lot of different platforms. And so if people are asking that question on Google, there's a very good chance that what you're saying is a very good chance that actually it kind of goes over to and applies to TikTok and probably some other social platforms, but in particular, TikTok as well. So yes, that's a great, so as far as content ideas, it's like, okay, well, what do I need to look at? And yeah, I mean, the easiest thing is go answer those questions. And that's, I haven't really thought of it like that. But it totally makes sense. Definitely. And then obviously when you are starting and you get some videos up there and people actually commenting, I can see in comments, people may ask more questions of you.
Yeah.
And so, we've always thought about, so that's another area, but, SEO and about, it's not only just, a lot of it is educating the public. The more, I feel like the more I can educate my potential customer, who's a client, more that I can tell them about, how SEO works and how, web traffic works and so forth, that whether it's fixing something on their website, that education and educating people, is going to, even though you're telling them some secrets, right, and you're giving them some of these tips, it comes down to the fact that, yeah, I mean, you tell these people on, TikTok, they're going to start following you, seeing you as an expert. And when even though if they're not, they like for their roof, even though they may not right now be ready for a new roof, next year they may, and since they follow you, they'll, like I said, they're gonna hire you.
So good.
And it's all
Absolutely.
about that education.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head there. I want to mention something too that you had mentioned earlier in there, is that the more that you do this, the more questions that you're going to get
Yep.
in the comments of the videos. TikTok has a fantastic feature that you can do a video response to comments.
Yep.
So it opens that dialogue up between people that are in need, that are asking you follow-up questions. You can jump on there and do a 30-second, 60-second explanation directly answering what their question is. Nothing builds rapport better than that. There's never been a platform before, aside from like live streaming, where you can have that interaction.
Yep.
It's so powerful.
Yeah, explain me a little bit about how these is, and that's a little bit different than duets, right?
Yeah.
Explain to me a little bit about how duets work on there.
Yeah, there's a couple different ways that you can create content. You can put out your own videos, upload them or record them in the app. You can do video responses, which when you press the video icon next to a comment, that pops up. You can do what's called a duet, which is basically adding context to somebody else's video. So for instance, if let's say you're a plumber, there's a great plumber I've done some work with, shout out to Roger Wakefield. He does a lot of these on TikTok. So he'll look at a video of a pipe bursting or sewage outflow of something, for instance, right? Yep. And he'll duet that video, which basically is side by side. So the video that he's duetting is on one side of the screen and he's on the other side of the screen. And he's able to add context and clarity and expanded information on what's happening in that video. So you can, in real time, show an example and explain what's going on. This is really effective. Another way, or another feature that you can do to create content is called stitching. So it's similar to a duet, but basically it front loads your video with another video. So a really common example of this is you'll see videos like, tell me you're a marketer without telling me that you're a marketer, something like that, right? You can stitch that video. So just that opening line shows up on your video and then your response to that as well. So you can stitch a lot of videos as well. Those are the primary different ways of content creation on the platform.
Yeah, there's one actually that I remember specifically is there's a girl on there who comes on and says, tell me a secret about a company and that you're allowed to tell because you don't work there anymore. I don't know if you've seen that particular one, and it's really interesting because you get people who used to work work at Starbucks and Walmart and Disney and all sorts of different companies that that we go to and from a lot of it is retail, and so they will stitch that way. Well, they'll have that question and then they'll give the answer. And so that's definitely a good way if you can find some videos that actually maybe even popular already, that then you can respond to. And sometimes, for some people, it's easier to just do that stitch video because you have something in context rather than just having to kind of create, a video. And luckily they're not that long. Obviously, so as I understand it, we at the beginning, we have what, 30 seconds. And then at a certain point in time, they give us, I guess it's where you can do a longer video up to, I guess, up to 3 minutes.
Yeah, so there's three timing settings on the app currently. It's 15 seconds,
Okay.
60 seconds, and 3 minutes.
Okay.
Now, I don't really recommend 3-minute long videos. It gives us the option. They don't really perform that well unless you're really engaging. Everybody is used to a shorter video on the platform. So unless you're a really engaging storyteller and you hold their attention from the moment that video starts until the very end, I would try and keep the video as short as possible.
So any tips and tricks about the algorithm and getting more views and getting something, to be shared more and so forth? Or is there anything, that we should know that's not, that or any parts of the algorithm that we can use that as an advantage, if you will?
Yeah, absolutely. So go in with a plan of attack, if you will. So structure your
Okay.
video out effectively. And what I mean by that is opening the video by hooking them in immediately. Because of the low attention span of this app, you don't have time to introduce yourself, share your credentials, just jump right into the video. Like, you would open a video up with, here's 3 signs that you need to replace your roof. That is the first thing that video would open up with, and then get right into the value of that video. Tip number 1 is this. Tip number 2 is this. Tip number 3 is this. Then you would end that video either with a direct call to action. You could say something like, if you're unsure and you want to get a free roof quote, you can click the link in my bio. One clear call to action. Or if you're really sneaky, sort of an advanced trick is something called a loop, which is basically ending that video with the same visual frame or verbal cue that you open that video up. So if you can end that video with saying something like, watch this video again because these are 3 tips to see if your roof needs to be replaced, right? It forms a complete sentence, and it increases that watch duration, which is one of the most important factors for a video to go viral and continue to reach people on TikTok. That structure we use over and over again for many different service-based businesses, and it works. You want to get really strategic with the hashtags that you use as well. Really specific to that individual video. 3 to 5 hashtags is perfect to use on that. And you really want to be consistent as well. You should upload a minimum of 1 video every single day. You can batch these ahead of time. I don't want to overwhelm people. There's a lot of different ways to do this. Remember, they're like 30 seconds or less. It's not going to take up too much of your time, but you want to do at least 1 a day. If you can do more, there's not really a magic number. The more that you can do is going to allow you to build up momentum faster, fail faster, so you can learn more about what works and what doesn't work, and get you more comfortable in creating short form vertical video content. Those are really good tips that are going to help people get started.
As far as, and one last question, as far as recording, I mean, we don't really necessarily need any kind of fancy equipment or anything. Obviously, just on our cell phone typically is good. Certainly, we can edit those, edit the videos and so forth. Obviously, you can add music and add, text and titles and so forth, or even right in the TikTok app.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so many potential obstacles. The bottom line is that just get started, right? Your message is important to who you're trying to reach. Don't let any of these obstacles, like, oh, I need to get the best lighting. Oh, I need to get a better camera setup. Oh, I need I have the iPhone 12, but I need the iPhone 13 in order for me to start doing this. That's all a mindset issue. Put all of that aside. You can always improve stuff later on. Just get started.
Sounds good. So tell me a little bit about your company and how you get, and how we can get in touch with you and so forth.
Yeah. So my company's name is Socialty Pro. If you want I have a free TikTok checklist that your listeners can download. It's socialtypro.com/TikTok-checklist. That's socialtypro.com/TikTok checklist. That'll get you there. You can contact me on the website. You can contact me on my TikTok as well. You'll find me everywhere on the internet at Socialty Pro.
Okay, sounds great. Thanks again for joining me this afternoon, Austin, from Socialty Pro, socialtypro.com, and Austin Armstrong. Thanks again. This has been the Digital Marketing with Bill Hartzer podcast for Thursday, February 17th, 2022. Thanks again.